Yeah, if you read the thumbnail, you heard me right. This game is not good. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. This game is not good. It's fucking amazing. Honestly, I'm more surprised I like this game than if I opened a pack of Pokemon cards and I pulled out a Toon Dark Magician Girl. My first impressions, I saw the original trailers when it was picking up some steam around the time Tower of Fantasy came out, which I did play for maybe a week, and honestly, it looked very flat and very dull. I guess the right word would be washed. That's definitely a better way to describe it. It felt very washed. Obviously, some of the combat looked interesting, but because of how boring the world looked, you know, I wasn't even going to give it a second thought. I also never played PGR, so I didn't really have much knowledge of Kuro games and how well designed their combat can be. Plus, the fact that I thought Genshin was boring and how Tower of Fantasy was kind of a flop for me, I just chalked it up to, you know, maybe open world gacha games are just not for me. 4 out of 10. Let me tell you, I was wrong. My history with gacha games. Look, I was basically raised in gacha, the country, okay? I moved to Japan when I was 9, and I came back to America when I was 15. So I was molded by the gacha. Everything in Japan is gacha. And no, that is not just because I couldn't read Japanese and everything was a gamble, okay? I don't believe you. Baby's first gacha was Fate Grand Order, so I'm used to being abused by the system. The No Pity has taken advantage of me quite a few times. From there, I always continued to play Fate Grand Order, but from there I discovered games like Azure Lane, which I played on and off, Arknights, Blue Archive, NeuroCloud, Reverse 1999, etc. I actually played both the Japanese Fate Grand Order and global Fate Grand Order until I decided to stick to one, so I went to sell my global account and got scammed for hundreds of dollars. Very fun. Eventually down the line, Genshin released. I wanted to try it. It looked very interesting. And you know, they were paving a way for a new type of gacha game that hadn't been out yet, and it was very ambitious, so props to them for that. However, in reality, you know what it felt like? Felt like I was playing a Disney game, like Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I couldn't stand the exposition from the little thing following me around. So I gave it up after a couple hours, and I never touched it again. I think I just liked the idea of playing Genshin because it was so ambitious. I love both open world and gacha games, and the thought of playing one that was both appealed to me heavily. But in practice, no. I would never touch that game again. And then they touched. Let me be frank here. I don't give a fuck. In a majority of games, I wanted a good story-rich experience. I would watch a well-written movie, like Rubber, or Hobo with a Shotgun, or I would read a book.
Sure, buddy.
Which is one reason why I do like this game a lot. The majority of the story is basically skippable. It's a godsend, especially coming from playing some games like R Smashing Simulator BDO, where they have whole guides on how to skip the main story quest. From what I was forced to see of the story, especially at the beginning, it just seemed like a generic anime storyline. You kind of got isekai'd into a new world, you made some friends, you kill a bad guy, yada yada. However, Jian's storyline was pretty fucking cool, and the cutscenes in the dreamless fight were pretty top notch in my opinion. Spoiler warning, the scene where Jian shields Rover and then like falls over and dude, god, it gives me goosebumps every time, to be honest. There's just like something about being so selfless that you would, without even thinking about it, risk your life to protect someone else. I don't know. It genuinely makes me feel emotions, and I don't have those often. So overall, I give the story a 6.5 out of 10. Basically, they marked B for every answer on their Scantron for the first page, but then on the second page, they got everything right, and somehow they got some extra credit. I think the world looks incredible. It's both vibrant and dark, which I think really nicely fits the whole narrative of the world, like post-apocalyptic, but it's not so dull like it was in the original trailers. I think they do a great job at separating the areas while still making it feel cohesive. Most areas generally feel unique, and I'm extremely glad they decided to pivot from that original art design of basically 50 Shades of Grey. I do think that though there are a few small areas that just kind of feel empty. Obviously, I don't expect enemies to be up my ass every step I take and every breath I make, but there could be a mob or two more in some places. Overall, I love the visuals, the colors, and the choices they made when it comes to world building and design. The trees look fantastic. I heard they individually designed each of them so they weren't repetitive, which is honestly kind of insane if you think about it. So props to them. 9 out of 10. Here it is, without a doubt, the best aspect of this game. It's fluid, it feels good, you look sick as fuck. It literally feels like if Fate Grand Order was a good game. I'm just kidding, I love Fate, please don't delete my account. But seriously, it's like if BDO Combat and Naraka Combat had a baby and then they isekai'd it into the slime world. I think they do something kind of incredible here where it can be both super complex and easy to grasp the basics of, and I think that's a really difficult thing to pull off successfully. The skill cap is tremendous. I'm sure at some point we will see like level 1 dungeons soloing level 90 holograms. The animations are sick. The skills make sense. Intro and outro skills and animations are some of the coolest shit I've ever seen in a video game. Swap pairing into swapping again literally makes my nards tickle. After hearing about PGR and the hopes people had for the combat in this game, Wuthering Waves, I started to get excited, but honestly, this just literally blows everything I ever would have expected out of the water. 10 out of 10. The characters are very well designed. I mean, they look unique for the most part. Their skills and abilities fit their overall design nicely. I would say second to Fate, and this is specifically just the card art. This is some of the best character design I've seen. I mean, if we're comparing it to the sprites, there's no actual contest. Wuthering Waves blows it out of the water. Honestly, these are some of the most well-designed, specifically male characters in a gacha I've seen. They look like absolute gigakids. Also, if you're familiar with Fate, you cannot tell me Jian versus Geshu isn't just Lancer and Gilgamesh.
It's the same photo.
Anyways, they look like they all got the same amount of effort into their design and kit, no matter the rarity. They all look cool as hell, and while I rarely play male characters, I am excited to see they look so sick. Also, they literally have Get Good as a character. The enemy design is, on average, pretty good. Some of the lower, smaller mobs are, as you might expect, a little generic looking. Some of them look pretty similar, which is not always a bad thing, but then some of them are just the same with different colors, which sometimes is a bad thing. But the boss enemies are so well designed in my opinion. I think the monkey with the log is so sick, dude. He just swings around his fat hog at you. It's so cool. They feel very unique, and fighting with them with their music is fantastic. They can be challenging, but they have learnable mechanics, which makes practicing and patience rewarding. Anything can always be overcome with skill. 8.5 out of 10. The endgame grind at the moment seems, to me at least, fine. I see a lot of people almost expecting kind of to have maxed out echoes with perfect substats by now. I mean, the game just came out. Min-maxing for one substat on an echo seems like it should be, in my opinion, a long-term goal. I do think they made a great choice introducing, basically shinies into the game. Increases playability and also makes players want to keep exploring and hunting just for that small chance. I will say, however, the rate at which we obtain XP for said echo seems a little low. I do think that the rewards for certain activities should be increased, very slightly. Say for example, you do a Tacit Field and you get 2 gold XP tubes, just bump it up to 3. That turns your previously 3 runs into 2, and in the long run will cut down on the amount of runs needed significantly. Overall, 8 out of 10. The gacha system seems above standard, I guess. I never really played a game where you have to roll for characters and weapons, but I do really appreciate the fact that the weapon is guaranteed at pity, after hearing about the atrocities of another game. So thank you for that. Just on a side note of that, I do appreciate the standard weapon banner, and in my opinion, you should roll all your standard rolls into that. 7 out of 10. It's still a gacha at the end of the day, so I do give it plus 2 points for a guaranteed weapon banner. I think the sound design is good. Sometimes the weapon hits feel a bit flat, but the parry feels and sounds great. To me, it sounds heavy enough. I also really enjoy the music. Honestly, I play literally almost every game with the music turned all the way down, but I actually enjoy the music in this game. It's not overbearing, and it really only feels like it adds atmosphere, if you know what I mean. Boss soundtracks feel impactful, and the open world ambient music kind of feels like it was a world design choice instead of a sound design choice, if you get what I mean. Good job. 7.5 out of 10. As a non-Genshin Impact player, this is my first long-term genuine experience in an open-world gacha game, and I believe it's one of the best gacha games ever. I'm a very combat, kill shit focused gamer. I want to practice, I want to kill the shit, I want to get good. So the combat of course carries this game heavily, but that doesn't mean the rest of the team isn't playing, okay? The music and the ambience is good. The character, enemy, and world design is good. And I think it has the bones to be one of the best games out there. There are obviously bugs and things that need to be worked out, like this stupid ass camera bug where it freaks out after I kill an enemy. But honestly, I haven't experienced many. And the performance is fantastic. For me, perfect endgame gear will be a long grind, but I think you can manage with far less than perfect if you try. I'm extremely glad I tried this game, and if you haven't tried this game, I think you should. It's far more than an open world anime gacha game. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Anyways, peace, love your friends. And earlier, I wasn't shit talking Disney Dreamlight Valley, okay? The other one, I'm just kidding. Okay, bye.